I use the word spiritual and spirituality in my videos, in my podcasts, in the book that I'm writing, in the description of the book that I'm writing, in the description of my podcast. Like, I use the word spiritual, the words spiritual and spirituality kind of a lot these days. And I feel like it's necessary for myself and for communicating, expressing myself and making content about spirituality. I think that I need to really reflect on what I mean by that word, because the word is so ambiguous. And, I have some friends who challenge me directly or indirectly to be more clear about what I mean by spiritual or spirituality. And I think that's completely fair to yearn for that or require that. So I wrote down some notes before I made this video. And usually I just like to freestyle these videos, and I really enjoy that. I enjoy kind of the natural flow that comes out. But that same natural flow kind of came out when I was just writing about this topic, and I think it's going to be pretty hard for me to say everything that I said in the writing that I did without just reading what I wrote. So if you will take a few minutes to listen to this ramble that I wrote about what I personally mean by spirituality and spiritual. Here it goes. Before I dive into what I mean by spiritual, which has been challenging but fruitful to reflect on, since I think I throw around the word too willy-nilly or too much without sufficient definition, I need to talk about my notion of the word God first. For one, in theory, and in my own experience with myself and others, a notion of God is not prerequisite for using the word spiritual or spirituality. I don't always explicitly think of God when I think of spirituality, and I know people who use the word spiritual or phrases like spiritual experience even when they're atheist. This makes things exciting but also complicated. When I say the word God, I don't always mean the exact same thing, but in the last few years I've tried to clearly envision and make sense of my use of, feeling, and gravitation toward the word God. For years I used the word God passionately, but through the lens of more traditional conceptions of God. For years after that, I usually resisted the word, mainly because I knew what people's usual assumptions are about what someone means when they say God, and how in a lot of ways what I mean by God is much different. For years since then, I've used the word God because it's such a simple and short and powerful word that stands for that which we can never fully understand, which has a magnitude that's immeasurable. That's why infinity and emptiness are both good words to use in relation to God, in my opinion. God is the one, the all, and the mystery. In my recent view, reality, including all possible realities and all thoughts and literally everything that has, does, and will exist ever, completely, is God. So God is one without anything separate from it. God is the one. God is the all because God is every individual thing that exists, including us, of course, as well as every crumb in my apartment. God is the all. And of course, God is the mystery because the natural intelligence, creativity, and complexity in nature are far too intricate and interlocked to ever exhaust in a map. So when I say spiritual, I mean that which honors the one by seeing things as interconnected in a chain of mutuality, dependent origination, Indra's web, interbeing, Interdependence which, when truly seen, leads usually to more honesty and compassion in our worldviews and relationships. When I say spiritual, I mean that which honors the all, because though all is one, all is also made of eaches, each individual, each living being, plant, animal, etc., and each inanimate object, which of course is made of what everything else is made of here, atoms which are made of particles which are themselves, when unobserved, probability waves that are potentiations of energy and perhaps of consciousness. So God is also each individual thing in its individuality, in its subjective experience, in its unique karma, in the web of cause and effect. When I say spiritual, I mean that which honors the mystery by not being closed-minded, not pretending to know conclusively everything that matters, and not pretending to be perfect or holier than thou. Honoring the mystery cultivates the beginner's mind, since every present moment is a mystery, yet we rarely experience it that way. Each present moment unfolds afresh, ready for us to engage with it. Having too many assumptions can prevent us from engaging with the present moment. So honoring the mystery means being forever curious and also open to magic that exists in reality. Magic being the natural charm and connection between the mind and matter in simple ways, but also in synchronicities, dreams, deja vu, blessings, sacred conflicts, art, poetry, love, loss. That which is more raw when experienced rather than dissected by the left brain. So spirituality to me is the practice of keeping these things close at hand, available, explored, experienced, reflected on, and experimented with in whatever ways feel generative for us. Peace.